Welcome back to the journey, y'all. So as you can see, we're getting back into building this fence. And yeah, I know I started getting into that, or doing this with the last video, and then I kind of went a different way. I just really needed to get that off of my chest. Well, for one, I tried to keep up with what's going on within the homestead community. And whenever I see larger channels talking about a topic, then why not? I'll go ahead and throw in my 2 cents and try to stay relevant. So that's kind of the whole thing. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, then definitely go check that out. I can even post that up here in the corner. If you want to go check it out now, come back to this. Or just wait until the end and then go check it out then. It's greatly appreciated. So yeah, getting the fence. So this one probably not going to, so I wanted to be able to keep a straight, so this is going to be the back side of this little paddock area. And during all of this building of this fence and doing stuff, obviously it's going to be a pretty decent size. We're going to be changing stuff up with the chicken coop. And then, well, that's probably going to come a little bit later, because we're kind of thinking, what we're thinking, right, is that we want to be able to have a few animals in this area here, along with a few other areas within the property, but we'll move them around as necessary, right? And then obviously feed them other stuff as we can, hay or oats or just whatever. So we're looking at getting sheep, a couple sheep, right? And just to be able to utilize that for taking care of the property and any type of milk production or stuff like that, which, yeah, it is what either you like it or you don't, right? So I would not mind getting a cow as well. I know Gladys wants one for a pet, but just be able to have one. Obviously she wants a Highland, right? And I know I'm over here in all the shadows. She wants a Highland, but obviously this not the best for like milk production. There we go. I think that's a little bit better. But I don't know. We can look into that, because if we're going to get a cow, it's going to have to serve a purpose and not just to be a pet to be out there loving on, right? So that's kind of how I see it is, for the animals that we're getting here, they need to serve some type of purpose, and has nothing to do with emotional support. So either providing for meat or providing for liquids, like the milk production, right? Any of those things. So fish, we have fish in the pond for eating, different stuff like that, right? So obviously we have dogs for emotional support type thing. Obviously you're not going to do anything else with a dog. And then obviously the dogs that would be outside are working dogs, right? They're not necessarily there for emotional support. Gladys does have other stuff that she can utilize, right? That is more of a pet, which would be a goose, but the goose can also lay eggs, right? We're going to have certain chickens that will be, not for consuming, that they're more like a pet. Like Max is more of a pet, but he's also providing that stud feeds, right? That's how we got all the other new baby chicks and such. And then yeah, we're going to be going through and kind of changing up a little bit of the stuff. So we have because those are Brahma type chickens, so they're actually good for meat production. And to be able to process up some of those and actually use that for, because right now we're trying to get enough chickens for eggs, right, to be able to lay eggs and such. But then we're also trying to get to where we can start hatching out some chickens to be able to process, and to be able to keep up with a family our size, especially if mom and dad is here, or if my mom decides to move, right? That's a family of 7. hey, you would need 100 to 120 chickens per year, right? For meat production alone. So, that's processing, roughly, 10 birds a month. And yeah, that's a lot, right? So, and being able to keep up with enough chickens to have eggs throughout the year, right, for everyone and stuff. So it's all a numbers game, right? It's a number game that we're going to slowly, get into and seeing, is this something that we can do, and then go from there. We also plan on doing some pigs. We're gonna have pigs over here and stuff. That those will strictly be grown for meat, and then yeah, that's it. So we'll kind of see how it goes. So anyway, this fence stuff ain't gonna do itself. Still out here kind of fighting the weather. You see blue skies here, but yeah, back that direction is where it's all coming from. So I'll be out here as long as it's not raining. I'm a fair weathered homesteader type person. So yeah, I don't like working in the rain. I don't have a reason to do said. So anyway, I'm gonna get out here. I'm gonna start making some marks, putting it out, see how many poles I'm gonna need for over here, and then go. And like I was saying, I wanted to just do like a straight line, but I don't think I'm going to be able to. So this pole here, the corner post, is going to come out 4 feet. So I'm looking at about to here, and then from here, because I want the corner to be a 90, and then from here, it's probably going to have to go at an angle. So I might need to do even like come out to a corner, and then like even another corner. I don't know how that might look funny, but we'll see. Because even if I have to bring because I'm trying to stay away from this root, right? So even if I have to come out a little bit, not less than 90, right? 90 degree will be fine. So from here, obviously I'm going towards that big cedar, but I'm going to have to kind of go that way and then curve and go that way. So I need to get some measurements and kind of see where we're at. And then, yeah. So let's get some measurements.
Not even a straight angle. This is more of a...
Yeah, it's going to have to go at an angle.
Yeah.
But I do want to go out. So these, was that 4 feet? Hold that to that one.
From where to where?
To that post.
You measured to this post, right? Or to this post did you measure?
To this one.
Okay.
So, well, it's a little over 4.5 feet. So, because I need to have another brace like that. So you can lift that pole.
I understand that, but we weren't doing... I thought I was drawing it out so that we can find where the posts are going to go.
Yeah, well, this will be the first one.
No. I understand that.
Are you getting mad?
I'm not getting mad. I said I understand that, but I thought we were just going straight, and we weren't going to do the posts yet until it's time. I didn't even put that in there. So.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, me neither. You told me to map it out and then figure out where the posts are.
Well, I was going to measure the 4 feet and have you stand here. But
Why?
that's fine. I'll have you...
yeah, that's why I don't understand why.
Trying to keep it back here.
No, I thought we were going towards the tree. Because we're leaving an open space. And that way up.
I'm not trying to cut down any of these trees. So I wanted to come out.
No one says you're cutting down the tree. We're not even near the tree.
Let go of that tape.
What?
See how close it is to that tree right there?
This could probably be
And
one
if you
that
want
we
me to
missed.
step over, now I'd have to cut down that tree to build a fence.
Oh my God, this tiny one. roll. Please. Put it down at the ground. Tell me where it is.
I can keep going.
Please stay there. What tree are you going to? That tree right there?
I'm staying pretty much in the middle of this path. I'm not going to any trees.
Go. Here we go. I'm leaving that there. He doesn't need his coffee right now. Oh boy. Yeah. Come and measure. Here I come. Oh, we're measuring it. Yeah. You're gonna stop and put the posts. Why? I'm ranting.
It's one of the reasons why she don't come out here, because all she wants to do is argue with me.
No. Give me. Give me.
I'll give it to you all right.
Hey.
Right in the
What?
right in the
Keep at it.
dupa, right in the butt. So where am I going?
Oh, now.
Where am I going?
Now, finally.
Huh?
Going
Ish?
straight.
Oh yeah, we said in between the pile,
Yeah.
because the other one's going to stay about where the corner is now, right? Where we have the net.
Can you stop tying it, please? Thank you. Okay. Stretch. All right there where you're at. Is that in between those two? In between the tree and the pile?
Yeah.
Okay. How far is that?
Like 52 feet. And then we're going to measure that way.
Okay. Stay there. Don't move. Stay there.
I'm marking it.
There you are. Tighten it. Which is that?
76. So didn't record it, but right here is going to be 24 feet. It's a 9-foot circle. Now she wants to measure this one.
All right, go. Tighten
If
it.
you want to get it more accurate around the coop, you can, but I know it's a 9-foot circle.
That's fine. Tighten it. What is it?
83.
Okay. Okay. How far apart are these posts?
They're all different.
Okay, well give it to me. No, come here. I want to see first. What is it?
4'8".
4'8". Here.
7'10". What do we need this information for?
That is for me to know where all the posts are. Thank you. I'm drawing where the posts are, ain't I? Come on, keep going.
All right, so she's actually going to go inside and crunch some numbers. So whenever I first was making this, the first row was right up against the power line, right? So obviously, doing a fence and an easement, you can build a fence inside of an easement. It is fine as long as there's access to the area, which we already planned on doing a driveway down our easement at some point in the future. So this was actually the first fence layout that I did. And in doing said, we were using high tensile wire. We've changed our minds. We're not going to do that. So we're just going to go ahead and do some field fence. And then for the field fence, then in the bottom, whatever, 2 foot or whatever, we're going to go ahead and put some chicken wire along that, because chickens will be in this area too. And it also help with, predator protection, whatnot, a little bit, right? Obviously, chickens that are outside, you want them to be monitored if they're free range, have a livestock guardian dog, just things like that, right? Different things you could do. Motion lights, so we will have up around this thing. Obviously, all the chickens at nighttime go into the coop, so you don't really have to worry about predators so much then, as long as your coop is predator proof. But for the fence, we're not doing this wire. So first off, we had to measure to figure out how much fencing we need, which I'm already assuming is probably going to be at least 2 rolls of the 330. So I think you can buy the field fence in like 330 foot section. It's pretty heavy, right? Obviously, to do those. If we do, and the field fence, normally it has like the 4-inch, 5-inch, or 4-inch, 6-inch openings, right? That's not really ideal for goats, but it's perfectly fine for sheep or cattle or anything, even pigs. Which we would still plan on having a thing of hot wire on the inside, right? A single strand of hot wire going around on the inside, just to kind of help with, keeping them away from the fence and whatnot. But anyway, because you can train pigs to a single wire, right? And I would like to be able to do that, to be able to move them to other places within the property and only having a hot wire out there. So but anyway, we are going to do that. So she's going to go through. I already know I need to put more poles on this section here. So she's going to go through, kind of figure out how many poles we need to place on that back row, on the other side row, and then the other section right there next to the coop. And then how many rolls of fence do we need to get? And yeah, that stuff's not cheap. I know. But we'll get there. We're getting there. We're getting there. We're getting there. Okay, so I'm going to get out here. I'm actually going to dig a couple of test holes. So I'm going to go grab the auger and just go. So obviously this spacing here is like the 14 feet, 4 inches, whatever, 14 feet. That's what I'm going to try to stick with everywhere. But I think for right now, I'm just going to go ahead and dig the corner post, right? Because I'm going to have another corner over here, a corner, and then it kind of goes down to this, like where a big cedar is, and then it's going to change directions there, then changes directions again over by these trees over here, and then we'll basically go straight to the corner. So it won't just be a straight line. It'll be a 1, 2, 3 different lines, and then every place that it changes direction, we will have more of the bracing and stuff like this, right? And then just try to, get that within 14 feet ish type thing. But I think what we're going to do is we're going to go with the field fence, but I still want to leave one strand, like how this wire is here. I want to keep one strand like that going all the way around. So I'm still going to use that wire, right? Just to do one strand all the way around at that height. And then be able to utilize that, pull that tight, right? And that will kind of also help hold that fence. Because this span is too far for a field fence, right? So I still need to put in another cedar post, at least in the middle. And then even then, you still only want those to be like, 8 to 10 feet. I don't know. I think the most you can go, I have to actually look, because the brand of fencing that I want to use, I'm going to have to look and see like the recommendation from the factory, right? From the supplier of the post, like what's the maximum that the post can be. And I want to say it's only 10 feet, but I'll double check. Because if that's the case, then we will also have to utilize some T-posts, in between cedar posts, which is fine. But I'm also going to utilize that wire all the way around for attaching the fence to that, and it will also help with, controlling sag or whatnot. And then at the very top, because that fence that I'm looking at getting is only 39 inches tall, so it's a little over 3 feet. Perfectly enough, for the animals that are going to be in here. I mean, you can even use that for cattle. And then still have at least one strand of hot wire. I'll either do hot wire or a barbed wire on the top, right, of all the way around. And that's to kind of help with, predators wanting to jump over the fence. If we obviously have anything in here dog-wise, or we have stuff that we don't want it to get out, it also helps with, that as well. So, and obviously anybody trying to come take your animals, right, they'll go to try to climb that fence, and yeah, that very top wire is hot, right? So go ahead, try it. But anyway, with that, yeah, let me go grab the auger and let's do some test holes. All right, let's see if we can't get this thing fired up. Is that on? I think that's on. Okay. Pretty muddy. And once again, thanks to Mike over at Watchtop Mountain Living for allowing us to use that. Yeah, and I can already see it's filling up with water, so for these, plus I want this hole to be a little bit bigger because I do want to have more of a, a 10-inch post on all these areas where it kind of changes direction. But I'll go ahead and just dig these out with this post hole digger, and then we're either gonna have to get some concrete or get some rocks to help, because trying to put that mud back in there, not gonna be able to compact it in with a tamp. So that one's going to be a little more troublesome. Okay, it's been about 10 minutes later, maybe 15, but I'm pretty sure only about 10. Since I dug this last hole here, and this one obviously I did not go down as far because I was hitting a rock, so I can see water, but it's not nowhere near as muddy. So let's go check this one. Now I know that the far one already has water in it. I've already looked at it, but I'm gonna come show y'all. So every single one of these posts is gonna require concrete or rocks, right? Because you can't tamp mud and clay. So that one actually doesn't look too bad, but this one's actually up on a hill, from the creek. You know, it doesn't go down to a valley like that one. So, but still, a lot of this is all like really soft clay that came out. It's really hard to tamp that. So I would still need to get, I mean, I got some rock up in the front, but not a lot. I would have to work for it to get a wheelbarrow where the RV used to sit, right? But this one, you can see it's already, if you can see that hole is almost already full of water. So at least 70%. I mean, that maybe a foot under the surface. So yeah, I mean, but I just wanted to, you know, kind of test drill this. We will be getting into getting some more supplies, getting some stuff. Obviously, I already got a few posts that I need to go and gather. I have 2 over here. I got 2 over there. Got some more up in the front. And then, yeah, with that, I also need to go up to the front because one of the gates actually stopped working. And I want to see the reason why. So coming over here to our gate, well, obviously if you've missed out on this gate project, definitely go check that out. That playlist is available, but this gate doesn't want to close. And coming in over here, so a little backstory on this, right? I didn't really finish all the wiring on this because I was expecting to move this. Well, that plan has changed because now it looks like I say 90% chance that we're not able to recoup this road, that they want to keep it open to the public for access to National Forest. So we're just going to have to continue putting a fence in. But that also means that the state is going to be fixing the road, not us. And that's fine because it's going to require probably a few $1,000s to actually get it fixed nice, to where it's not being eroded by the neighbor and just yada yada yada, right? Probably new culverts installed and just whatever. So we'll work that out with them. But anyway, I was planning on moving this gate to the front if we were able to recoup that road. And so I didn't put the stuff in here altogether. So yes, fence project will be continuing all along this and stuff, not just like what we're doing now. But in here, I came and looked and I was like, a varmint or something came. I mean, it looks like there's teeth marks a little bit, like right, I see a mark here, and then obviously that got cut. But the green wire is what got cut. So normally if you have an issue electrically, it's 9 times out of 10 it's going to be a ground issue. Well, yeah, so I'm going to come back through. I actually need to cut this wire to length because I'm not going to move this anymore. At some point, who knows, I might redo the gate with better materials after I've already had a sawmill and a wood shop and everything. I might come back through. I like the style, the design, but I would like to make it a little better, you know, plus make both gates exactly match, because right now one's thicker than the other. So, and that's based off of materials that I had available, right? So I will redo this in the future after I have, you know, stuff, but this will be another project coming to y'all soon. I'm going to get this redone and get it all, you know, tightened up, watertight and such. And yeah, and then we'll be continuing on the fence over here, because we also want to get all this area over here fenced off to be able to put animals in here as well. So, but if we're able to train them in that paddock that we're doing now to just a single wire, then I'm just going to bring a single wire around this whole area, kind of put them in there during the day, you know, allow them to eat, do the stuff that they need to do, and then move them back to the full the full fenced in paddock at nighttime, where they'll have, you know, their bedding and all that stuff like that, right? So little more secure, closer to the house, and things. We don't want to leave anything over here overnight at any point in time, right? I don't, even into the future, once it's all cleared out, I don't think we'll be, I don't know, we might, but that'd be after fencing over here gets fully done and gets secured, kind of like over here. So yeah, fencing journeys, man. And those spools of the 330 field fence, yeah, those things are $300 a piece. So whenever you see folks, you know, just throwing this up like crazy, well, just know that, yeah, $300 a piece. They're not cheap. So we're going to work that into our budget and get going. Over here, I need 2 of them. Over there, I'd probably need 4 to fence off that whole area. Pretty, or close to it. Yeah, 4 spools. So 6 spools at $300 a piece. You do the math, folks. All right, well, anyway, I think that's what we got going for you now. So continue to follow in on our journey. We'll continue to get this fence put in and going. I know it's a journey. It takes more than one day. Huh, crazy. Even Rome wasn't built in a day. So we're going to continue getting over there. I'm going to do the math of how many posts I'm going to need. I'm going to focus on doing the corners and stuff like that first. But like I said, I need to go get some concrete and such, and either gather rocks in the front or get a half load of rock brought in. I don't need a full load, not right yet, but I don't know. We'll see how it goes. So anyway, fun times. Well, if you'd like to stick around a little bit further, go ahead and check out this video we have right here, or we have the whole year's playlist on this side. Continue to follow in on this journey. Icons at the top make it easy to subscribe both here and to our side channel. Go check that out. It's greatly appreciated. And then last but not least, get out there, thank a veteran with every chance you get, not only on Veterans Day. And we'll see you on the next one. Later, y'all.